Hello and welcome, and next I am planning to show you that how to replace this Toyota Corolla cars, these front brake pads, and these Toyota Corolla's year models are 2002 to 2010. And next step is to take this wheel and tire away. Okay, and then it's good to, when we have take this wheel away, it's good to move that our brake disc and brake caliper so that we take first grip in here, and then please use gloves because these are extremely dusty, these brakes, and they are full of poison dust. And do not ever breathe or intake this sand or dust because these areas are very dangerous, and do not ever insert in here any compressed air. Only you can use carefully. If you have wet, clean, you can take carefully these sands away in that way, because these brake pads, they include, their inside is this bad asbestos material, and that's when we are taking these brake pads away, we insert our hands in here and second in that part. Be carefully with this dust cover, because if we move that, then we can damage it. And here is this grip, and I show also in that side that in that area grip, and second in here in that area. And then when I move, we need to move that disc in that kind of position, because we need to open these two bolts in here, 1 and 2, and we need then this 12mm tool. And then remember, these bolts are quite tight, and if we have so small tool, we can't open this because we need more force, and this rotation is in up. And I have solution, and I have so long, like 1.5 feet long bar, what is like 50 centimeters, and then I have in here this my connector, and here I have this 12mm socket. And then when I insert this my heavy duty, if you have ever seen Ford heavy duty F 300 or 50 or 450 car, I mean same heavy duty model, and I have like heavy duty tool, and this Ford F series heavy duty way, I insert this my tool in here and then I take my contact in here and I rotate and look in here, and now these bolts opens always, and it is easy. This is like easy like coffee drinking, or if you live in England, like English tea drinking. Have a nice tea. Okay, and this is, but tools are the must. And then I open the lower bolt in same way, and be sure that you can clean also these bolts if they are full of sand, because then it is much easier to open. And now when these bolts are open, I can rotate these bolts out using only my hand, because these Toyota's bolts, they open so easily, because this bolts material, it is so high quality. And then I have this upper one, and please insert these bolts in clean place. And then that one, and it's easy to rotate when we have nice socket only by finger. And now there is second bolt free. And if you have damaged that bolt, please go to visit the Toyota dealership center, spare part desk and info, and you can purchase these new bolts, and they cost something like $1 or euro per piece, and they fit in here right away. Do not use any other bolts in here. Okay, and then there is this interesting thing that I need to take that caliper out, and normally if I am lucky I could get that out so that I insert only my hands in here, and then I rotate that in this way. And please use gloves, because there are sharp points, and in that way. And the second grip I have in here in that way. Do not ever move these cables. They are really sensitive brake cables, and no ABS sensor. Only these hard places in that way. And now let's look what I can do. And now I am planning to pull out that thing in that way. And well, because this is Toyota, I managed to open that so easily. And then I insert, there is nice place in there where we can insert that caliper very carefully in there, and it is nice place. And then because I have had this issue that this my brakes makes small noise, it means that now I have to take all of these pads away, and then I need to insert in here this lubrication. And in here I can see that there is no any lubrication, and then I can see that this is aftermarket brake pad, and it is bad thing. I always recommend to you and to myself to use Toyota's brake pads, because they last maybe 10 times more than these aftermarket parts, whereas normally this material is really hard, and this brake pad material must be soft. Okay, but this is hard, and they look good, but there is no any Toyota's comments in here, because normally there is Toyota's logo and they look different. These parts are not very old, maybe 1 year, but still they are almost in stock, because this material is so hard. That one, this is steel in here. Okay, and then when we look that thing, next what I need to then do is to take that brake caliper, this part away, that we can take this brake disc away. And next I open these bolts in here, and soon we continue. Okay, and then when I am planning to take this brake caliper support frame out, there is 2 bolts. First one is in here, and for that first one is in here, and second one in here. And for that job we need socket. What size is 1/7, like 17, and it fits in here, in that way, in here, and then in here in upper one. And please clean carefully those bolts, and then it's easier to open. And these bolts are tight, and that's we need again quite long. This bar I have in here, this at least 1 weight, and then this rotation direction is in that. And note that now this disc must be in that kind of position that I can lift that up, that bolt, in that way. Now it opens, because if this disc is in wrong position in here, I can't rotate this long tool. And then I open also this upper one, and I insert that in here. And then note that these bolts are quite difficult to open, and that this socket is the best way to open. and opening direction is that we lift that up, sorry, and then it comes, and then I take it away, and again, and when these bolts are open, I can take this smaller, this wrench, and I can start to use that small wrench, and there is situation that this upper bolt is quite difficult to reach, and that it's good if you have this joint longer bar where I connect this bolt in that way, then we can work in here a little bit outer. This is like hint, and in that way I can open this bolt in that way. Good, and in same way when I open that, there is this lower bolt, and in this lower bolt amount I can use this normal way of this opening, because there is space in that. Okay. And when these bolts are loosened, what happens actually quite soon, then we can take this metallic cover out, and in that way, and soon we can see this bolt. Okay, and here we have this bolt, and it's look like that. Nice bolt. And then there is this upper part what I need to in there. And I insert the tool in there. And here I need this longer part. And now I have to be carefully that I don't damage this dust cover, because this is thin, and now I keep my hand in here in that way. But I keep my hand in here, and then it's easy. Okay. Soon this bolt is open. Okay. Now it drops. Okay, and here is this cover, and at the same time also, when this cover went off, we can take this brake disc away, and it's so easy. Okay, good. And then we go to look that closer, these parts. Okay, and now this is the final part, and there is this copper paste, and I insert the lubricant in here, and then this nose area, well, and this other area. Okay, and then and this is fine, and these were also well. And then I like to show you that what looks like this brake disc when I sand these. Look, they are now very shiny. I have taken away all of these heels and this upper rusty area in that area and also in inner. And then when we rotate in here, I have sand that all of these things in that area and outer area, and then I sand also these holes in here away, that there is no any hole in this brake disc. And now these discs are ready for installation. And then we had this final step was that when we had this brake pads holders, that we need to check that these parts works well, and that's we need to insert lubricant also in that areas in here. I will do that next, and I insert in also in here this. In that way I insert this copper paste in this joint, and in other side also all areas, and also in here a little bit more copper paste. And then when I have made that, I can guarantee that these parts moves. And then I like to show also that how to make lubrication in that steering bolt, and in that area we can also insert this copper paste in that way, a little bit in there, and then lubricant all areas, and it is easy to install in back. I only press that in totally, and now it's free. And now there is nice lubrication. Okay, good. And then I test that how this brake pads holder works. Then I install in here this my brake pad, and now I insert that in here, first in here down, and then I little bit press that down. I can insert that upper area in that way, and now when we check, now there is excellent lubrication. These parts moves like easily, and that means that when we have so well this lubrication, then we don't have anymore any noise or stuck brakes, because this moves so easily. And then we need to only be carefully that we don't touch that area with greasy fingers. Okay, and then next step is that we need to go to insert this back, but before of that I need to go to insert this copper paste also in this brake caliper what is in this car, and let's go to do that next. Okay, and here we have this our brake caliper area, and here we have this brake caliper in upper area, and I take my copper paste, and now I need to lubricate this area in here, that area, and also in that other contact point area in here. And next I start this my job that I insert in here this copper paste. This is the solution what works, and there it comes, and I first lubricate, and this copper paste can also go to this rubber gasket in here, because this is like only greasy, high resistant, high temperature resistant grease in that way. And this now this area is fine, and then I need to handle that other area also in here, and I insert in there also this copper paste in that areas, and then when here we have this copper paste, then there is no any corrosion, and that's the point. And now they are ready, and we can check, and they looks good, and then we continue that my project. Okay, and now when all parts are lubricant and ready for back installation, I install first in here back this brake disc. And this disc comes in only in that way, in here, good. And then I think that I need to rotate that my brake disc in this installation position, because next I have this caliper here, what I install next in here. Okay, and now I take this my caliper, and this caliper became in here. When I press that brake disc in this position, this part belongs in just in this way. Okay, in that way, good. And then we look in here. I need to take this my bolt, and bolt came in here, and then I need to only adjust a little bit that this everything goes fine in that way. And I take also second bolt, what I insert in here, and then it's good to do so that when we insert these things in here, that we check that these bolts they start to rotate nicely. Now I am rotating this upper bolt, and it's good to rotate all time this holder, and then both little bit this upper one and lower one, and then suddenly they goes in there. But do in that way and look where are those holes, and then I continue that job. Okay, and then I take this wrench and 17mm tool, and there is 17, and then I start to fasten. And I start to fasten this bolt. And now it moves in their inner. Good. And it's fine, and then I take this upper bolt, what is in there, and this was difficult to rotate, and that's I take this longer bar, what is in there, and then I take my tool, and I fasten that. Good, and then fastening also down. And then I need to fasten this better, and for that job I need longer and bigger tool than that one. But I can use more force, and that's I have this longer tool. One is, first I fasten this upper one bolt, okay, in that way. Now it's faster, and then this lower one bolt also. Okay, and now these bolts, they are fastened. Please fasten these bolts well, and then we continue. Okay, and next step is to install these brake pads back in there, and before of that, if we can see that there is this copper paste in here, we need to right away take this clean cotton cloth, and we need to take this like take this away in here because this grease is bad in this disc area. Okay, and then I change this position that we can install those brake pads, and I take brake pads, and here is this first one, and it goes so that I insert first in this lower part, that area, and then when this is in here, then I press down this brake pad in little bit in that way, and then it's easy to press in here a little bit down, and now it's nicely in there. And then this inner part in the same way, it's in here, and first this down area in here, and then I press that little bit down, and then it goes nicely, good. And then I have this my brake caliper, and it goes nicely in that way. And here is important thing, there are those two bolts and this nuts in here. And these nuts, their specific shape and look, they must be in that kind of position that this strike area is in up in both areas, and then this strike area goes in directly in that line in here, in that line, that when I rotate it in here it goes so. And here is this, when we look that area, there is plane, and then this part goes in there only one way. And it happens that when I press that in here, and then if this is difficult to install in here, we can take our big tongs, and a little bit I need to compress this my brake caliper cylinder back, and big tongs, and then big mount, and then I insert that one only in that position in here, look, in this way, and then I press, and look how this goes inside. Now a little bit better position, and this must be big, this area, and big tongs, and then when I press, it goes nicely in there deeper. Okay, now it's in there. And then be carefully that you don't hurt your fingers, and then do not damage this rubber, because it's important part. And then I insert that caliper. This goes only one way, and then check that these bolts in here, that they are in right position, because they must be in just in the sides, and they take actually a little bit contact in here. And if it is difficult to install, please check that these things are in nicely. Now they are, and look in that area, because now these things in here, they are in nicely, in nice way, in that way, look. And when they are in that kind of position, we can take this bolt, and we can insert this bolt in here, and they runs nicely in there. And then this second one also, and it goes also nicely. And then I need this 12mm wrench. I fasten these in that way, and in that upper one also. And please fasten this bolt well using that longer tool, or then in torque wrench it's about 20 Newton meters this force, and then I check that these, please check that bolt are fast, and okay, and this is 20 Newton meters, and do not press too much. I have now light and small tool, and it is easy to handle this force, because if we fast this too much, then these bolts can be broken. And then we check that is this our caliper moving, and it moves nicely. Excellent, because this movement is must. And then next part is to insert this wheel back in there. Okay, and now everything is fine, and final step is to install then wheel back, and then job is done. And thank you for watching that video, and have a nice day to you.